Hello, Jay here. If I could ask, could you give us a little 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts? Go on, please. It won't take long. You can just do it now. That'd be lovely. And share the podcast. Tell your friends. Appreciate it. And on today's show, we're talking to singer, songwriter, and soon to be my psychiatrist, Andrea Hosking. Born in the Philippines and half English, Andrea moved to Thailand as a baby. She tells us about touring with the Script and Sam Sparrow and what it's like to grow up here in Phuket. Andrea is one of the smartest and nicest 19-year-olds that we know. In fact, she's one of the smartest and nicest people that we know. She's super cool. I like Andrea. She's lovely. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, that was quick. Russell's eating. Andrea Hoskins.
Hi.
We've never officially met.
No, don't think we have.
So let's, does that mean I have to be polite and nice?
I think so.
I seriously doubt it.
I'd
like to see that, to be fair.
You'd like to see what?
You being nice and polite and courteous.
Don't make this bad from the very off. I've had a bad
It's a
week.
fine line between bad and accurate.
Very true.
Hey, Andrea, how you doing, sweet?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
How do you know Russell?
See, that's actually genuinely a really good question because I was trying to remember when we first met.
I was probably really little, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's not I'm not sure you can say stuff like that.
Let's,
without context.
yeah, let's qualify that one just a little bit more. Daddy is listening.
So, Jimmy Savile over there.
Yeah, I think Emily was Andrea's teacher.
When I was 3 years old.
Shut the front door.
Nope.
Yeah,
Serious.
and that's you going, oh my God, no way, that's incredible. Emily right now listening is pulling her hair out, banging her head against the wall, saying, how long ago was that?
Hi, Miss Emily. Shout out.
Right, Miss Emily. Don't call her that.
I can only call her Miss Emily.
Sounds like you're from the Caribbean during the sugar days.
No, it's true.
Miss Emily.
But when you bump into teachers now,
Yeah.
are you still calling them by...
Of course.
Absolutely.
Of course. I can't call them by their first name.
100%.
But you call it Miss Emily, but you just put the word Miss there.
The thing is, because we were kind of taught to call her Miss Emily, but then as soon as I got to like year 1 up until year 13, we had to call teachers by their last names. So every time I see like my high school teacher now, I say, hey, Mr. Donovan. Shout out if you're listening, by the way, Mr. Donovan. Yeah. But I can't call
Jason?
him Tony.
Oh, it's Tony.
Tony.
Oh.
He's like, call me Tony. I'm like, no, I can't
do it.
I can't.
So I mean, even the same now. I've been back to school reunions in Singapore, and you see all the teachers like, hey, Mr. Gray, hey, Mr. Okay, hey. You can call me Steve now. No,
can't.
But the kids now at the school, they all call the teachers by their first names. Mm-hmm. So I'm chatting with Mr. Webster. Again, shout out Mr. Webster if you're listening.
None of these people are listening.
Oh, Mr. Webster probably is. So I'm having a chat with him. This little runt of a child comes along and says, Steve, who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
I bet he doesn't say that. I bet he does not
I
say
said
that.
that.
You said
I
that.
said
You
that.
said that to Steve? Who's
No,
Steve?
I said it to the kid.
Which kid are you there? What are you doing with kids all the time? Right, okay, so let me just get some
Welcome to the
context on what's going on. So, Andrea,
Yes.
I'm assuming that you're not as old as Russell.
No.
Okay. So let's let the listeners know, how old are you?
I'm 19.
You're 19, and you were born and brought up in Phuket.
So I was born in Manila, but I moved to Phuket when I was 3 months old.
Notice the way she's speaking very clearly and professionally and eloquently,
Enunciating.
enunciating. Right? And I'm not adjusting, whereas with you, I'm constantly adjusting.
When you say you moved to Phuket,
Well, my
I'm very
parents
con-
kind of
I'm-
like dumped me here.
Yeah.
With
okay.
them.
Dragged you along.
So you
Exactly. Didn't really have a choice when I was 3 months old.
You were born in Manila.
Yes.
So your mother's Philippine.
Yep. Mom's
Filipino.
Filipino. Yes.
There you go. And your father is a mank.
Yes.
I shouldn't say that. Actually. Your father's very cool. Oh, I got police are looking at me. Your father is from England.
Yes.
So you have a Philippine passport.
Yes.
And an English passport.
Yes.
And you pretty much grew up in Thailand.
Yes.
You can say more than yes, honestly. If you want to fill in any blanks here, feel free to.
Yep.
It's like a 20 question. Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's me. Mom's Filipino. Dad's from the UK.
Which one do you like best?
Oh.
Come on.
Which parent?
Yeah.
Can't say.
Uh,
They'll decrease my allowance.
you're 19. Why are you getting an allowance?
No, I'm kidding. I don't
No,
actually
you're not
get
though,
an
are you? I bet you are. I bet you are.
Trying to cover up the fact
one.
that I get an allowance.
Yeah.
Thanks, parents.
Yeah, well done.
Still at home.
You're still living at home and you still get an allowance.
Exactly.
That's pretty damn good.
Thanks.
What age did you come to Phuket?
3 months.
3 months.
Try and pay,
Thank
try
you.
and pay attention. She just said that.
Yep.
And try to keep up, Jay. I know it's a couple of seconds ago.
Don't like your attitude today, Russell.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
3 months
Yes.
old. What was that like moving here?
Great. Met so many people, had so many new experiences.
And you've got one brother?
I've got an older brother who's 22. I've got a younger sister who's 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
school-wise now, she's still at school?
Yep, she's in her final year.
And what are you doing now? Nothing. Living the high life.
Well, no, before we go to living the high life.
Well, we'll backtrack. I
Okay, you
just want to get
okay, so where are you right now?
Okay, so I graduated when I was 17, so it was 2019. I took a year off. I was writing music. I was meant to do a bunch of gigs. I was meant to travel around South America and, live my best life on my gap year. And now...
What happened there? Why did
COVID.
Why did that not take place? Was there
Unfortunately, this thing called COVID came around.
Details.
So I spent the majority of my gap year in Phuket with my family, writing some music. And then in September of last year, I actually went to uni in Durham. I'm actually still in uni. I'm just
Technically a
doing
uni
it
student,
online.
Yeah.
I'm a Durham University student. I'm majoring in psychology and I'm minoring in Chinese. So I have class every evening. So I'm studying whilst living the high life in Phuket.
Whoa. Let the person who doesn't understand ask some questions. Majoring in psychology,
Yes.
minoring
Mandarin. Yeah.
Mandarin.
Yes.
What does that mean? I don't understand the major minor thing.
So basically,
being so fun.
I do let's say around 12 hours of psychology a week, and then I'll do 3 hours of Mandarin.
So the major part of time is...
Yeah, my degree is psychology, but on the side I'm learning Mandarin
But
with
what
the
does
hopes
that
of going
on
to
the
China.
Okay, so what does that on the side give you? That doesn't give you the degree in
No, it doesn't
Mandarin.
give me the degree, but basically with my degree you have 20 optional credits, which is a module, so you can choose it from whatever subject you like. I have some friends that are doing biology, French, Spanish. You can choose whatever you like, and I just happen to choose Mandarin.
As you do.
Okay,
Yep.
carry on with your online learning stuff.
In terms of your online learning,
Yep.
in terms of going to lectures, just how does that work with the time difference? Are you spending all your lectures at night, or...?
The thing is, my lectures are actually at night, but because of COVID, they're recording all the lectures, so I can sort of just
playback,
watch
yeah.
them whenever I want if I choose to watch them.
Right. How are you finding the whole online experience?
Personally, in the beginning, I didn't think it was too bad, and I was like, what are all these high school kids complaining about? You have so much free time, but it's second term into university, and I'm just struggling to plow through my lectures.
Right.
What do you classify as a kid?
Kid?
Yeah, that's a fair question.
No, okay, up until the age of 18, but then I still call myself a kid, so I don't really know, because in my mind, I still think I'm 15.
Well, to be fair, we act like kids.
Yeah, so we're kind of all kids at this point.
We're all kind of kids together.
Yep.
I think it's the mentality that you choose to have rather than your actual age.
Very good point.
Wise
Very
words
good
of
point.
wisdom.
You're only young once, but can stay immature indefinitely.
Exactly.
Amen.
Before we move on to how you got to university and all that, what was it like growing up in Phuket? Because I think you're the only. I was going to say white face, and it's the most racist thing in the world. You're the only foreign person I think we've had on that's actually grown up in Phuket.
Oh.
I'm trying to
You're
think.
the youngest person we've had on the podcast as well. Setting new boundaries.
Yes.
Nice.
So what was it like for you growing up?
It was really nice, relaxing.
Now, you be honest now.
It was a little bit on the repetitive and boring side because everyone kind of knew everyone and you were just going to Central every single Saturday and you'd always bump into people. But it was nice. I had a nice group of friends.
When you went back to last year, you did a term at uni?
Yes, in September. So I did September till December in Durham.
Okay. And how did you find that in terms of like a bit of a culture shock going back to the UK? Or
I don't think, I wouldn't say culture shock because I think I'm a pretty open-minded person and my dad's from the UK and my family is from the UK. But I just think what shocked me the most was the weather.
Had you not? You've
Should've
been
seen
to
that
the
coming.
I have, but Durham is so far north. It's basically in Scotland. So in November, it reached 0 degrees.
Hold on, sorry, Miss Emily.
It was so cold. I always had to wear 4 layers just walking to get my breakfast. So
from the bedroom to the kitchen.
no, the thing is, because we were indoors. No, okay, I'll give a bit of context. So I was in a catered college, so we basically got 3 meals a day provided to us, and it was in a separate building. I had to walk 2 minutes
A whole
to
2
get
minutes?
to the cafeteria or refectory. What do you call it in England? Dining hall?
It goes by any of those names.
Dining hall?
Dining hall,
I would've gone with
cafeteria.
refectory. But that's
Refectory. I think refectory is American.
Yeah.
What?
Refectory.
That's not a word.
It is.
It is.
No, all right, you two.
It means food.
Don't team up on me. No, food means food.
Yeah.
Bullshit. So we're gonna should we hit the sing a bit now?
Well, because I was asking that point because I found it when I went back to the UK for uni, having grown up in the Far East as well. I found it a real
You in the
big
Far
shit.
East?
Singapore, Hong Kong's called the Far East.
Is it called the Far East? I thought that was just a story. I thought that was just like a pirate thing. Honestly, it's like one of those things that Peter Pan goes to, the Far East. What day is it today?
Yeah,
Is
quite.
it Wednesday?
Yeah. We're making mental note. Never to do podcast in the middle of the week again.
I like Wednesday podcasts because I'm just not with it. Anyway, go back to your Peter Pan story.
Personally found it a bit of a culture shock just coming from this area back to UK.
I just don't think I've experienced it enough. I think I've met like 10 people because of COVID. So, and I was put in a household with like 8 other international kids and like 4 British people. So I didn't necessarily like get to
So it's like in a
experience
shared
it.
dormitory sort of house. Okay.
Yeah, so it was all right.
Far out.
You're not jumping out that you've really enjoyed this whole university experience so far?
Well, the thing
You've hardly
is,
sampled it, really.
like 2 weeks into my uni experience, some people in my corridor caught COVID. So then we had to quarantine for around 2 weeks, and I had to stay in my room, and then food got delivered to me. And the thing is, like, the food was really, really bad, and people kept stealing my food that I ordered, like, online. My food kept getting stolen, like, almost every day, so I just didn't eat for 2 weeks. So it wasn't necessarily the best, but...
When I was at university, I didn't eat for about 3 years,
Yeah.
so get over it.
all right,
That's all I'm
I'll
saying.
suck it up.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
Suck it. I was cooking on a camping stove in my room. No word of a lie. That's all I had. And I had hot dogs, a tin of hot dogs, which were about 27p.
Ooh,
Excellent.
the best.
Yeah, lovely.
When you finished school, well, better question. Why did you choose psychology? Was that something that you just thought?
Yeah,
Why not, or-
it was my favorite subject, like in school.
Okay.
To be fair, like before doing the IB, which is like the high school diploma program, I really wanted to like go into finance and be an accountant and work at a bank.
You strike me as the type.
And then I
Is
just
that honestly what you really wanted to do?
I wanted to be an accountant. I love maths. Like, yeah, other than psychology, I love math.
What does your mum? I know your mum, but no, I
She
don't. What does
used
she?
to be a stewardess,
Okay.
but she's now an
that's
interior
right,
designer,
yeah.
and she manages villas.
Okay.
My dad. On
Yeah, we
the
know
other
what
hand,
he does. He's into trafficking
He's a
and drug
he's a
dealing.
dodgy
Dodgy guy.
In
dodgy
fact, the
man.
police have turned up waiting for your
Oh,
dad
no.
to come and pick you up, I think. That's what they're here for. No, your dad's into events and obviously
Yes.
entertainment and stuff like that. He's got some great stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need to talk to him about
Interesting
wrestling.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
He used to promote wrestling years and years and years before
did-
you were born.
Didn't you know he was a wrestler?
No way.
In the whole leotard and everything.
You've
It's
heard of Big
brilliant.
Daddy?
Yeah.
That's your dad. No, it's not.
Oh God.
Where was I going to? So you've got an entertainment father,
Yep.
or events manager, and
Yep.
you've got a stewardess or air stewardess stroke interior designer, and you
Yep.
wanted to be into accounts.
Yes.
Where
I
did
love
that-
maths.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine.
I like maths. Maths
And
and numbers cool.
then I kind of like, I wasn't really sure what subjects I wanted to take, and then a friend recommended, because all my friends were kind of taking psychology, and they're like, just take it so we can be in class together. Because I was doing, econ business, and I was like, they weren't in any of my classes, so I was like, okay, I'll take psychology instead of economics, and then we'll see where it goes. And then a year into taking psychology, I was like, no, want to do this. I want to do this in uni.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what is what is psychology?
Yeah. What's your end
Good
game?
question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Oh,
asking you.
wow.
It's a great question.
It's basically just understanding how people work, what's going on in your brains. The thing is, every time I sort of like introduce myself and I say I take psychology, the first thing people say is like, are you analyzing me like right now?
Are you analysing me right now?
Yes.
Yes.
In my head.
Yeah.
I made a checklist. The type
Don't
of
worry,
person
because
you
I'm
are.
Andrea, good luck.
Thanks.
I mean,
You don't wanna get in
terms of
honestly.
starting at a high.
You don't want to get in this head.
Yeah.
It's not good.
If you
No
need a
thanks.
case study,
I got you.
this man right here, that's your dissertation.
Amazing.
Oh, I'd love to have a dissertation about me.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? What did you do your dissertation on? Oh, Leshark. Who? Who's that? Don't worry about it. Do you enjoy the psychology? You do obviously enjoy it. What's the end game with the psychology? Let's say, you get the degree, and
Yep.
we'll leave the other career path
Yep.
to one side for now.
The thing is, like, it's really niche what I kind of want to go into, but I want to kind of be a counselor / psychologist for musicians suffering from like post-performance and post-tour like depression and anxiety that often like result in like turning to addiction because they can't really cope with this post-performance like depression. It's basically like when you're on stage, everyone kind of loves you, you have all this adrenaline, and then you go into your hotel room and like you're all alone and no one's really there, and then this like change in adrenaline and emotions like leads people to, you know, resulting in taking drugs and going out binge drinking. So I kind of want to help artists like suffering with that.
And it doesn't need to limit it to artists. It could be, I mean,
like
sports.
anyone.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Sports performers.
Exactly.
A lot of the top tennis players will say the same thing. It's amazing when you've won a tournament, you have 2 weeks, and you lift the trophy, the crowd are going nuts, and then you get in a taxi and you go back to the hotel.
And no
it's just
one's-
like, all right, you might have your family there, but it's just like,
Exactly.
it's such a drop.
Yep.
Really
I can relate to all of that.
Yeah.
No, I honestly really can. No, because when
I've not won Wimbledon, but
No, I tried. I wasn't very good. I've been on the common and picked up some litter. There's a Womble joke for you. I've done a few gigs, and I do get the same. You get the buzz when you perform, and as soon as you step off it, it does
Down.
just go
Exactly.
straight down.
And there's
Straight
like
down.
barely any research on it. People kind of know it's going on. Well, it's happened to me. It's happened to you both, and like there's not much research on it. So I kind of want to be in that field.
And the problem is it then
people.
becomes a drug because you want to do more, but
Exactly.
the more you do, then the more depressed and down you
Exactly.
get.
Yes.
So it's
Because
a cycle.
it is a
Endless
cycle,
chase.
and it's one of the reasons, and I can tell you this, when you and I did my stupid, crazy performance, 2 seconds after we finished it, I was feeling probably as worse as I was before I'd even started.
Exactly.
And the reason I didn't want to do more was because I just didn't get the buzz from it. I thought I'd do this performance and all of a sudden I'm going to feel great. All this depression I had been having would go away.
Exactly.
And it didn't. It just
Exactly.
came back.
yeah.
And it's the same with doing the comedy videos. You know, I really want to do more and more and more. And I don't because I do one and it's funny and then it's, well, I
have
feel
all
crap.
that adrenaline and it just goes, evaporates.
It's a really interesting, I think that's a really interesting thing.
Thanks.
And also we focus on the end game of a performance,
Yeah.
whether it's I'm on stage, I'm going to do this gig, or whether it's a stage, whatever it is,
Yeah.
or a sport. It's to achieve a particular goal.
Exactly.
And you plan everything. I mean, you might talk to psychologists about, prepping yourself for being on stage and all
Yeah.
of that. No one ever prepares for
After.
what happens after.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt again. You can even say for the burger competition. I had the biggest
Apply
burger
it to anything.
I had 2,500 people come to me. I don't think you were here. Were you here at the time or not?
Which competition?
Oh, there you go. You weren't.
I
Brilliant.
wasn't there then.
Don't ever
Who
come.
gets best burger?
Yeah. So we did it in November last year. We had 2,500 people come.
Wow.
It was huge. It was the biggest event probably in Phuket
Awesome.
for last year.
Yeah.
I'm on stage and we're doing it. Hold the trophy up. Well done, you. Congratulations. As soon as that's done,
Yeah.
I'm on a right downer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone said, "Oh, Jay, best event ever. It's great. When are you gonna do the next one?" I'm like, not interested. Don't want to talk to
Exactly.
anyone. Just stay away. You know.
That was me. So I first kind of experienced this when I was like on tour with the Script, and I was so excited. And it was like the first
Wait,
proper.
Yeah. You can't just throw that out
Whoa.
there. You can't say, "Yeah, when I was on tour with the Script."
So
Right.
yes,
So
bit of
let's-
context.
so
Bit of
let's get-
context.
let's get-
I toured for the Script in I think 2018.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When
Prior
did
to
this?
that.
Okay, so let's. You are a singer
Yes.
and a writer, a
Yes.
songwriter. We'll get to Russell's so-called
Songwriting.
songwriting and singing in a minute,
Yep.
which was the first thing you said when you walked in. Said, "Oh, Russell, I didn't realise you were a singer," and he
Yeah,
went, "Oh, I'm a songwriter."
I was so surprised. He's like, "Yeah, let's sing something together." I was like, "What? You sing? Okay."
I
No
don't
offense
think-
taken.
Yeah. So anyway, when did you first start singing?
I was really young. My mom kind of signed me up for like singing lessons and choir, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" I was in a room with this lady who was like teaching me to sing, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?"
What age was this?
Probably like 6.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was so young. I think the first song I ever sang was like the Bare Necessities, and I was 6 years old.
Russell? Do you know
Jungle
it?
Book.
Jungle Book.
No, just seeing if Russell can sing it. Yeah, this our so-called
Give me the
singer.
words, I'll probably give it a crack.
You must know the words to Bare Necessities. Shall I help you?
Go on then.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. There you go, see?
Yeah, and
That's
then
the title sorted out.
I sort of formed a band when I was in year 6, and then I sang at my year 6 graduation.
Stop. Year 6 is,
I
I'm
was
just trying to work it
I
out
think I
now.
was like
Daughters
11.
So, yes.
10 or 11.
Must be
Can
10
I-
because I think year 6 is then
Can I
moving on
just
to...
put a
yeah.
little segue into the podcast for all the international education committees that are listening to this particular podcast? Can we please have a uniform standard of age groups for school? So if it's year 6, You're 6 years old. But you're 11. You're 11 years old. Just do it
You're
that way.
18.
It's
Well,
just
I was
so much
disappointed
easier.
because when I was at school, they changed it from whatever it was. You get first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and then you move
You
on
start
to
again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like-
And so we were getting up to fifth year, and then they changed it to now you're year 11. I don't want to be year 11. I want to be fifth year because fifth years were cool. Year 11s were douchebags.
It's very confusing. So year 6 is how old?
10? I want to say 10.
Well, my daughter's in year 4 now, and she's 9.
Okay,
So, yeah,
I
10
was around
10
10.
or
I was
11
pretty
then.
young for my years, so around 10, 11. Formed a band.
With who
sang
was
at-
in this band?
Oh, these people that you probably don't even know.
No, but name them and shame them.
Will they be listening?
No idea. They're scattered around the world right now.
Are you still in touch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was
Name and shame.
There was this girl called Shayla on the drums, Kayleen on the piano, or bass, Tennille on the piano.
Tennille?
Yeah, her name's Tennille. Such a nice name. She's Australian. Currently
Okay.
in Australia right now.
All right. Hey, Tennille.
And there
Hey,
was this
Tennille.
other girl called Vicky who was
Oh, it's all
on
girl
vocals.
band.
Yeah.
See,
it
that was
an
more of a
all-girl.
rock, but you didn't want to go down the girl band kind of. You
band.
went down the rock band, honey.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So we performed at my year 6 graduation. I was sort of meant to play the piano because I also did piano lessons, but my mom's like, no, honey, you should sing. I was like, okay. And then I sang, I sang in choir. Then I also sang in church growing up. And then when I was around like 14 or 13, I experienced like my first heartbreak, and then I sort of like used my piano skills and like my singing ability to write a song. And
Destroying him completely.
Exactly.
You had lessons with.
Siobhan.
I know
Yeah.
Siobhan,
my God,
Canadian
of course,
Siobhan.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
the coolest person ever.
Are you still in touch with Siobhan?
Still in touch with her.
Bless her. I
Yeah.
hope she's listening. Hi,
Is she,
Siobhan.
is she back in? Is it Canada?
I think she's in Canada at the moment.
She went back to Canada.
Yeah, oh,
Canada.
she was awesome.
And then did you? Because obviously you've got connections with Papa.
Yes.
So were you doing stuff with them? Were you in the part of the
Yes.
Papa band as well?
I don't think I was in the Papa band.
Were you not
but
good
I
enough?
was
Did you get
enrolled-
rejected? Were you upset? Were you sad? Was it your first
course
rejection?
it was
Tell us about that.
Very,
How
very
did that affect your
depressing.
life?
Very sad time. Didn't manage to make the band.
Hence the psychology degree to deal with the after
Exactly.
effects of the rejection.
Rejection from Papa.
But when did you first start thinking, yeah, I want to do this singing more and more and more and more?
I was probably around like 15, 16. I just kept writing more and more music. And at the time, I just wrote it sort of for myself, because every time I was going through like a breakup or something emotional in school, you know, when you're like 12, 13 years old. So I sort of compiled a bunch of songs. And then the first big song that I wrote, I was 14, almost 15. And it's actually called Best Friend. It's out on Spotify and YouTube, by the way.
Good plug. I like that.
I wrote it as a present for my best friend who was leaving to another school, and I just wrote it for her. I sang it on the guitar on her last day. You know, we all cried, and then I sort of didn't really show
So
it
you
to
play
anyone.
guitar as well?
Yes.
Bloody hell.
Oh yeah, I forgot to include
Yeah.
that. I taught myself how to play the guitar around 14. Like not very well. I can literally just play 4 chords.
Can you do
That's-
Wonderwall?
Yeah, of course.
You only need 4 chords.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all
You
you
only
need.
need
And you need
4
a capo.
chords.
You need a capo and you need 4 chords.
I don't know what a capo is.
Capo?
Yeah, whatever.
You put
You
it
said-
on the
little
guitar
fish
and
in
then
it.
it transposes it, so it changes its key.
It what?
It changes the key.
It transposes it.
Transpose.
Transpose.
Don't you nod, Russell, like
Sorry.
you know this
that,
stuff?
that one I knew.
He knows what that is.
Yeah.
I don't like you today. I really don't like you. What's transport? Anyway, okay.
Yeah, so I played it on the guitar, and then one day I was like, hey parents, like, do you want to hear some stuff that I've written? And then they're like, it's probably gonna be some like really bad stuff. You know, like what could she do, right? And then I started
And then
singing it to
Beyonce
them,
rocks out, you know.
and they're like, wow.
So, but your parents must have heard you do stuff before.
Not really. Like they knew that
Are
I
they
could.
bad parents? You can say it.
They give me a lot of privacy. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's great.
I love
They,
that.
they
See,
built
that's
me a
great.
smart.
soundproof room.
And they give you an allowance, so
Yes,
they are quite
they're
smart.
wonderful. They're
Yeah.
great people. So I showed them all the songs that I'd written, and they were like, "Oh, you're actually very good. You're talented."
They not your father and your mother aren't singers or performers.
My mom can sing.
Right.
My dad sounds like a dying cat. No offense if you're listening to this when he sings.
I think you've been
So-
quite polite about it, to be fair.
Yeah, I think you've been very polite about him.
mean-
But my mom's great at singing.
Well, she's from the Philippines.
Exactly.
They all
Filipino.
sing.
It's just-
In fact, this is the whole Filipino joke, isn't
Yeah,
it? I
yeah.
mean, for Christ's sake, you tick the box. I'm in the band. Do you like fried chicken?
I love fried
There you go. Done. We're sorted. We're sorted. Easy. So they heard you write your songs, write your music, and then obviously your father has connections.
Yes.
So that is useful.
So he actually sent off my songs to a bunch of people, that he knows. But I was around 15, 16. My voice wasn't obviously amazing because I was still, going through puberty. My voice and everything was changing. But he sent off my music to some people. One guy in particular is called Kura, who's actually based in Phuket now. But he heard my music.
Nice, really cool guy.
So
really cool guy.
He heard my music and he was like, wow, like she can really like write stuff. I want to work with her. And then he flew over from LA to Phuket, stayed with us for a couple months, and then we tracked like 4 or 5 of my vocals for the songs, and then he ended up producing Best Friend. We just put it out there with the help of some people. Shout out to Stuart Watson, who helped me so much, with releasing my song, getting me with a distribution partner to help put my music on Spotify and all that. And now Best Friend is doing great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that's but how many more have you released, or is it just the Best Friend one?
I've released around 5, I think. I want to say 5, but I've written so many. It's just all like, I'm just waiting for them to get produced, gonna do music videos, photo shoots, all that. There's so much that goes into releasing a song.
Yeah.
There is. I bet there is. It's not just you just turn up, you record it, and you go.
Yep.
When you say you want to do the music videos, so is this the part? So which path are you going to take?
No, the thing is,
because surely, as a musician, I don't know about being a musician because, unlike Russell, I'm not a musician.
Yeah.
I can sing. I can particularly sing one song.
Yep,
and that's the only song I can sing.
Beyond the Sea.
Only because I had 2 months worth of lessons for one song. It worked though. But my point being is, you're doing is the psychology stuff the backup for the university, and then you're going to hit into the music. Or are you trying to balance? How's it?
At the moment, I'm trying to balance both. If the opportunity comes for my music career, I wouldn't mind, taking a year, like taking a break from university to pursue my music career. But I'm sort of just building up my portfolio at the moment, getting my songs produced. So if anyone does come along and wants me to tour, wants me to do this, when everything's open, when COVID's kind of gone, then I can sort of resume my music career and then always have university on the side, because I always think it's good to have a degree to fall back on just in case.
Sure.
Whoever's writing your stuff, to make sure you say, yes, kids, get a degree first. Don't be like Bieber. Bieber's useless.
I'm a huge believer in like following your dream, but I also love psychology. Like I love music.
Talking of dreams, there he is. Look, old Midas Productions just walking past.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he's keeping an eye on you, making
Dad.
He's not keeping an eye on her.
I think it's good what you're doing. In all fairness, having that. Joking aside, having a backup of some sort of
and also it's
degree
not
is good.
It's not a case of they're completely disparate. It's not like, well, I'm going to try and have a music career, and if that doesn't work, I'll go and do accounting.
Exactly.
It's the psychology.
Well, she can't do accounting now because she fucked off the comics.
It goes hand in hand with like what I'm doing now, like music, and then this artist, counseling, talent counseling.
That is such a great idea.
Yeah,
that is really, that is like a ding idea.
Thank you.
So who have you performed with? Or who have you toured with? Because you mentioned the Script and whoever they are.
What?
I know, I'm just joking. I'm just pretending I'm an old guy.
And how did that come about?
They take that. When was the first? Before we get onto the Script and stuff, because I know that you've performed with a few people in Singapore on the stage there. Your first major, what you would call your major performance, so not a school performance. What was that?
I have to say it was like the talent shows that Papa and like Legend Music hosted.
Yep.
It was around like 100 people then. I decided to sing my own original music.
And how did that work out for you?
I came like 3rd and 2nd.
Who were the judges?
No, I don't even remember. I think
bet it was Jason Wilder with one of them.
One of the guys at the radio.
Yeah, Jason Wilder.
Jason,
Him, yeah. And then I came like 3rd and 2nd, and I was like,
nice one, Jason. Now look at her. You've ruined her life.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna keep writing music, kind of gonna do my own thing, and then, so that was sort of like the big first performance I had. I was probably like 14, 15. And then...
So the worst thing is, I think I was probably at one of those, or I was either emceeing it.
If you were judging.
I wasn't ever allowed to judge. I'm sure I emceed the ones, because I did one at Royal Phuket Marina where I was MC.
Nice.
I can't remember if I did the others. Anyway, good for you.
Thanks.
While you have a drink of water. Russell?
What's the... Well, go back to the Script. How did that come about?
Basically, a bunch of potential like opening acts were like sort of sent to them. They're like, okay, here are a few options, and then they kind of liked the music I was doing. But prior to that, when I first saw the script when I was like 13. I was wearing a cast, and I got to meet them backstage for the meet and greet, and I was like to them, one day, like, I'm gonna sing with you guys, or I'm gonna sing for you guys.
Were you quite confident as a
I think
as
so.
a kid?
I want to say so.
Yeah.
I think
If you're going to go backstage and walk up to an international man and say,
Oh,
I'm
and
going to sing
I
with you.
got them to sign my cast as well, and I still have my cast with their signatures on it in my room.
Nice.
Nice. Beautiful.
That'd be worth thousands of something of bar in the future.
So then they heard my music, and they were like, yeah, we'd love to have you on our tour. And initially I was just doing 1 or 2 dates, but then after I did the first 2 shows, they're like, come on to our Hong Kong gig.
So where was the tour? Where were they?
I did Singapore, Manila, and I was just meant to do those 2 shows, but then they asked me to sing in Hong Kong with them.
Okay, so what was that experience? Because you were going on first before them, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You're not the headlining.
You'll warm up the crowd.
But
how
what was it like?
How long did you perform for at each show?
I did 9 songs.
Wow, okay.
8 to 9 songs. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And all your own songs?
I did 6 or 7 originals, and then did 2 or 3 covers.
Did you cover the script? That would have been awesome.
And who was your band at this time?
So it's actually 2 boys that I play music with in church. One's an amazing pianist. He's around like 15, but he's probably the best pianist like I'd ever met. There's a drummer.
You've heard of Mozart, yeah?
Yeah.
And Beethoven. Just
I
checking.
think he's just slightly worse than Mozart, but he's like up there.
Don't know.
And then I got Blaze, who
Okay.
Is in Legend Music. Papa
Yeah.
got him to play the guitar.
He's fairly decent on guitar, to be fair.
Yeah, he's
I suppose he's
amazing.
worth having around.
Yeah, I like Blaze.
Blaze is awesome.
I've known him since I was like 10 years old.
He's just a cool guy.
Agreed.
He's just a cool guy. And now have you seen his new girlfriend?
Yeah, well, I think we've known him since he was this big.
Honestly, they're like stuck together like a limpet. You can't get them off each other. It's hilarious. So I should go back. So 7 or 8, 9 songs
Yeah.
as a warmer, and people. What was it like? Because how many people were there? No
Oh,
one
yeah,
knows
that's my
who
next
the
question.
hell you are.
I think the script was like 6, 7, 8,000, depending on the location. There's a lot of people.
And was that
Bum.
in terms of going on to a was it like National Stadium in Singapore sort of thing?
Yeah.
So getting on stage there in front of say 10,000 people
Yeah.
is one thing compared to singing in church or at a school gig, right?
Yep.
So was there a middle ground of like maybe 2,000 people or 3,000, or did you just go from one to the other?
Kind of just went from one to the other.
And how did you feel about it? Just like, well,
At the time I had so much adrenaline and excitement that it sort of like didn't faze me. The fact I was going on stage in front of like 8,000 people. And I think like when I walked on stage, after I did my sound check, I was hyped up, ready for my performance. Then I got on stage, and the first song, like all the lights are off, so you can't see anyone. It's great, And then halfway through the middle of my song, they turn on the lights, and I'm literally just like, oh,
there's people out there.
People staring at me. But I was so like in the zone that it didn't really bother me.
Who's mentoring you at this time to go on stage?
Kura was helping me,
Right.
my producer, and there was a guy called Stuart Watson who was helping me. He came on tour with me and helped sort of like
Who
coach
is this
me.
Stuart Watson? You've mentioned him a couple of times.
Yeah, so he currently lives in, I think, Nyhorn, but he used to work at like Jive Records, and he was like helping Britney Spears at one point in his career.
What, shave her head?
Not sure about that phase, but he was sort of like, he's worked with a bunch of artists and he liked what I was doing, and then he was giving me some tips and advice. And both of my siblings like actually traveled with me, so every time I was nervous, I was just staring at them in the audience. It was all
Because
good.
there must have been some point where you're just like, I just need a hug. And or are you just totally, no, I'm cool, I'm kind of in the zone?
I was all right, but then that's how I kind of got on to like this post-performance anxiety and depression. After this adrenaline rush that I had from being on stage with the script for the first time, I sort of went back to my hotel room and I was like, oh, I feel like crap.
Yeah.
Did you stay and watch the script show?
Oh, of course I did.
Yeah,
I'm a
just checking.
huge script fan.
Yeah, ditto.
What do you mean ditto? Stop, you're not.
I like the script.
Name one song.
The Man Who Will Not Be Moved.
Nice, good choice.
Oh, don't be his best friend today.
Hey,
I
we're
like
gonna
you at the moment.
We're going to record a duet soon.
Oh, that's right. Dumping me straight out. I was the one that wanted to do a duet years ago. I was the one that
You've
wanted
had
to do
your
the
affair
Christmas song.
podcast. I'm having my affair duet.
I do
Exactly.
a podcast for you. I want a duet too.
Anyway,
No.
back to you.
Oh, no more talking until you say yes to my duet.
Yes, back to you.
There we go.
I was going to say, do you want to have a threesome? But that is not. That is really not.
With
the
no
right thing to say.
context.
Like, really, really bad. Really, really bad. And I don't mean it like that. But what's the word?
It was going
Trio.
through the back of my head. I was like, no. Yeah. That's the difference between you and me.
Yeah.
Filter.
Exactly. I don't have a filter. When you was on the stage, were you doing any banter with the crowd? Or were you just going from song to song to song?
I tried to do some banter.
And how did it go? Was it like, yeah, put your hands in the air if you know me? And everyone went,
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I'd say stuff, and sometimes it'd be dead silent, and sometimes people would clap and like shout at like the wrong time. So I was like, you know what? You'll get better at this with time.
Yeah.
So when I was on tour with Sam Smith, I also got to go on tour with Sam Smith.
Throw another name out there.
I was slightly better and like less cringy, I'd say.
As a performer, it's great that you have that confidence anyway, but you're right, that little banter with the crowd will come, because the singing you can practice, you can do it, but you can never get that banter.
And it comes with practice.
Sure.
Have you done any gigs, it sounds quite weird, at a lesser level?
Yeah.
Like even like in a pub or somewhere like that?
Literally last Friday I performed at the Mexican. I sang like 4 or 5 songs.
Oh, really?
Why were we not there?
Why were we not there?
You were invited.
Were we?
It was on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
the world was invited.
Mark
Fair enough,
Zuckerberg didn't tag me on that one. Sorry about that.
Yeah. When are you doing that next?
Hopefully sometime soon.
Oh,
You
yeah,
did
definitely.
You did Soul Shack as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Right
months
before I
ago.
left to uni.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and here's the thing with it. If you're gonna, I've done the former. I've done the small gigs. I haven't done 10,000 people, admittedly, at an arena.
A small gig doesn't count.
Like, I've sung in a
Your
pub and
mum
stuff.
and Sassy does not count.
Of course it does. If there's more than one person there,
You doing
it's a
dodgy
gig.
karaoke at that Russian bar in Boat Avenue
Oh no,
doesn't count.
That doesn't count
And
at all.
that's a great story as well.
That was fucking hilarious. That was. But no. Anywho. But it's a slightly different thing. If you're going to, I'm guessing from a concert point of view, there's 10,000 people there, but they're all there to see, no offense,
someone else.
the script.
Yeah.
Right? So they're in that sort of buzz.
Yeah.
So unless you're utterly diabolical, you're going to get a fairly decent ride from the crowd. And I am admittedly guessing that. If you're in a pub, that's a whole different gambit.
Yeah.
Because the expectations are a little bit lower. And also you're then dealing with a crowd that is just, sometimes you do get a tough crowd.
Yep.
And how to cope with that.
The thing is now, like, after performing with like Sam Smith and the Script, everyone sort of has like really high like expectations for me. Like even at the Mexican, they're like, "Oh, she's performing with Sam Smith and the Script," and a part of me is like, "Oh my gosh,
I'm gonna die a little."
Now I need to live up to like these expectations." But because I sort of like love music so much, it's not that I don't care what people think. It's like I'm kind of there to have fun, and hopefully in return, like you're gonna have a great time. And if you don't enjoy my singing, like you can enjoy your drink or some tacos at the Mexican.
You have got a seriously good attitude.
Thank you.
I really wish I had a similar attitude.
Thanks.
Because I'm not on your level of performance, but when I've DJ'd or when I've done comedy shows, I just get so upset if people. I do love what I do, but I'm not passionate. I forget that.
When I was in school, literally, like I was just eaten up with all the comments that people were saying. Oh, you look like this. You look like this. You sound like this. Like, and after I'd perform, I'm like, oh my god, there was like this one part in my song where I sang like a really bad note, and I'd go to my mom and like I'd analyze my performance. But I was like, you know what? They all had a great time. Like, you're not perfect. Like, the other day in the Mexican, like, my guitarist and I, like, he sort of started playing the wrong song, and I was singing the wrong song, and I was like, sorry, guys. My song sounds so similar to the point where sometimes it's hard to differentiate what song I'm doing. And it's fun. It shows that I'm a human being, and because I just love music so much, it's like, okay, your opinion matters, but what matters is that I had fun and that I was showcasing my own original music, and I had a great night, and I got free food after.
Sweet.
It's great.
I love you.
Thank you.
I love free
you
food.
And free food. No, I think that is such a great attitude to have.
Thanks.
It really is.
Do you also find with the crowds that you get, and I guess this must be the same for everyone, but not so much the bigger the crowd, but the more engaged the crowd, that you're going to feed off of that.
Oh,
if it's just people
100%.
sitting around drinking and, she's
100%.
great is one thing, but if they're singing with you and getting into it, that gives you more.
For sure, and that's why, like, when this doesn't necessarily piss me off, but like when a musician
This pisses her off.
Yeah, it really pisses me off. But like when a musician is performing and when people like talk during the show, like okay, you can talk during the break and stuff. That's why like whenever I'm watching someone, I never talk because you can always hear people talking in the background and you think that they're not paying attention. But when I hear that sort of stuff, I just like close my eyes and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna pretend I'm singing in my room.
How does it work if you're at the Mexican singing?
Yeah.
And Russell and I have been at the Mexican while other people have been singing, and we're having a conversation.
Yep.
Do you want us just to stop and just listen to you, even though we're there to have a
That's
catch up?
It sort of depends. Like it
Because
depends
it's not
on
a
the
music.
vibe.
We're not going there for the music gig.
Exactly.
That's the point I was making a second ago. It's not an event.
Exactly. But when I was sort of singing at the Mexican, it was like promoted that people were going to go there specifically to watch me sing. And if that's sort of the case, like it would be nice if people, like respected that. But again, if it's like Friday night in Patong and you're listening to a band and you're having a few drinks, like that's a different story.
Do you like people shouting out, "Can I get up and sing?" or singing along with you?
Oh,
not
I love
mention
it.
anyone
I love
names.
it.
Oh,
I love it.
That's
like,
not what you should have said.
No.
And don't high five it.
No,
Oh,
especially when people
Don't
know.
do that.
Especially when people know the lyrics to my original music. And
Oh no, we're talking
along.
about just rock songs that he knows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that they're engaged.
Yeah, exactly.
I got engaged.
I was going to say, you
God.
prefer them to be single, but anyway, but I'm
God.
here all week.
Psychoanalyze this now.
Yeah. No, see,
I already am.
when I mentioned about your dissertation, I shit you not.
Oh, I will.
I'd be pretty
Case
good
study.
with this. Sam Smith.
Yes.
So who was first, Script or Sam Smith?
The script was first.
Okay, who's better, Sam Smith
Oh,
or the Script?
Script
they're
all
both
day long.
Amazing.
Oh, come on.
No,
No.
can't choose.
I mean, neither of them,
They're gonna be
old Mr.
mixing.
Script and Mr. Smith, are listening.
Both were amazing. Both were completely different. One was a band. One was a solo singer.
Thanks for that. So what was Sam Smith again? Was in Singapore and
Sam Smith was Singapore, Manila, and Bangkok.
okay, wow.
Yeah.
And was that you had the similar band join you as well?
Yeah,
and do all the same
similar
thing?
band.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of, obviously, COVID aside, in terms of, did you have other gigs planned or penned in for last year? Or?
I was meant to do a couple of gigs, and I was meant to also like do a road trip in the UK, and I was meant to be touring there. But because of COVID, everything's sort of cancelled at the moment.
Sorry.
No, before you do it, if you ever get the opportunity to front for Elton John, bitch, please.
Okay, I got you.
That is my ultimate.
Russell?
This is my.
I don't mind that, but you can't say bitch, please.
Just did. And if you hadn't have said anything, it would have just slid over that
But
nicely,
no,
and nobody would have known.
But you said bitch, please.
Yeah. I need to know about this.
Is your
I got
name
you.
Letitia? Are you from?
Because as much as I would love to do a duet with you, I'm putting Elton just
All
above
right,
you.
makes sense.
Russell wants a bit of Elton.
I would
He-
kill or die
Do
to
anything for
I
Russell
would
would
kill
bend
or
over
die
backwards
to
to have a bit of Elton.
bend
for
over
sure.
forwards
Oh,
to do a
God.
duet with Elton.
Oh God.
If you did a road trip in the UK, obviously your band. So how's it work with?
I would sort of play the guitar or piano myself,
Okay.
or I'd sing
But
with
what,
the
you're
backing
one man
band.
Blaze,
Can you-
she's ditching Blaze.
Sorry,
Blaze is gone.
Blaze.
Oh,
You
Blaze,
put
mate.
cymbals between your knees and do that.
Tambourine.
Bring back one-man bands. That's what I say. There's
Miss
not enough
those.
one-man bands in
Miss
it.
those.
Yeah, they were brilliant.
You can blink to pull the hi-hats.
Exactly. And you had the harmonica. I don't know what that was. No harmonica sound, but yeah. And the under the arm. Remember that one?
So that's a no then.
Nope.
I don't know where to go from that.
Yeah.
Russell, help me.
Oh dear. But no, you haven't got any gigs. You didn't have anything planned. It was
No,
just to be.
nothing sort of
Okay.
like planned at the moment, but I'm really in like the songwriting zone. I think I've written like 10 songs in the past month.
And what's your style? I mean, well,
Singer-songwriter. People will say my music sounds like Taylor Swift music, but
Okay.
that's a very big compliment.
take it. Run with that.
I'm so sorry. I just had a joke in my head, and
No,
it was
Jay,
hilarious. No, it was all.
Say it.
No. It was all about someone from Preston, and it's a terrible, very rude joke using that word that I would beep out, and I'm not going to do it. So you're into country and western.
Yes.
Okay.
Love
Hence
Taylor
the
Swift.
from someone from
yes,
Preston.
Yes, yeah.
I like Taylor Swift. She's
She's
cool.
great.
She has issues with her writing. So have you listened to what she did with the copyright stuff, and are you going to keep it all to yourself, or are you going to give it away? What's your plans with your future music?
In regards to like distribution,
Well, just be careful, that's all.
Exactly.
Just write your name at the bottom. This
Yeah.
is mine.
this is mine.
Yeah.
Post
Andrea.
it to yourself.
Andrea's stuff.
Andrea, do not touch.
Just
How many
register to
songs-
post it to yourself.
How many songs do you throw away?
None.
None. No, I kind of just have all my songs like in a book or like on Google Drive, And then I swear, if anyone has access to either one, my voice memos, like on my phone or my Google Drive, like they will be set because I just keep everything on there.
You're like Alan Partridge on the bed. I've got an idea for a song, and you just start singing it, and you record your voice.
Yeah.
That you don't. So you don't write so much.
No, I will grab my guitar. I will sing a melody with some lyrics, like over some chords, and then I will, if it's good, I will actually like title the voice memo like "This is good." Because I'll have 100 voice memos.
This is gooder.
Yeah, this is gooder.
This is really gooder.
This is the goodest.
Because some of the stuff I come up with is terrible, and then it's all
this
like,
is shite.
when you record something in your voice memos, it actually like records like the location of
Yeah.
where you are. So it's all like, I'm not like, for example, Durham University, like Durham University 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to like up till 50, and then it'll be like, this is good. Finish this.
What comes to you first? Is it the music or the lyrics, or do you do them both at the same time?
Like I just strum out some chords, and then
yeah, we've lost Jay.
he's dying. No, I track some chords down, and then I will.
You're smart for 19.
Yeah.
You're so smart for 19.
And then I will sing a melody with some lyrics at the same time.
But okay, the question is, it's not so much, do you have lyrics in your head that you want to use, or is it just a case of they're just coming to you, right?
In your head?
Yeah.
In your head?
In your head.
See, yeah, it's good, thank you. Thank you. I'll be all week. I'll just drop this.
Drop the mic. See you later.
Country and Western style.
Oh,
Yeah.
Before we
go
go
on.
on to that, now I was going to ask, if someone gave you some lyrics and said that I've written this song, would you feel like, I can easily put a tune to that?
Yeah.
And vice versa, if someone gives you a tune, would you be happy writing lyrics for it?
Yeah, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. But I think if someone comes to me with lyrics, it's probably the easiest to turn that into a song rather than coming up with a melody and then trying to find the lyrics like on top of that. Because lyrics are sort of like, they're really personal.
Yeah.
I usually write stuff about stuff that happens to me.
Sure, who doesn't?
That's why I've got like the inspiration. But if someone goes, here's a melody, try to write something on top, I'm kind of like, what do you want me to write about?
But do you not find it then becomes about the emotion that melody gives to you?
In terms of like the song, the lyrics I write on top of that.
Well, yeah, because if you hear a tune,
Yeah.
or a melody or a riff, whatever, it's
Yeah.
going to invoke some sort of emotion, whether it's melancholic, whether it's,
Yeah,
it's
I
aggressive,
think
whether
so.
it's
But
happy.
I think in regards to like my songwriting, I love writing like a melody that kind of like suits the lyric, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if someone gave me a melody, it's hard for me to like emotionally connect to the melody because I didn't really
It's not
write
yours.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and unless if they just gave me a melody and like here, write something on top of this, I'd want them to also give me a topic. So I kind of like separate myself from that. Like I'm writing this song specifically for them,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't really have like an association with me or the way I'm feeling at this point.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay.
Which do you prefer, songwriting or singing?
So
Or
Good
singing your own
question.
songs.
growing up, like I loved songwriting so much because like I was confident, but I was also like really self-critical. I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna be on stage, like how do I look? And am I gonna sing like a wrong note? I do like a 2-hour vocal warm-up. I wouldn't eat dairy for 24 hours. I would drink honey lemon teas every 30 minutes to soothe my voice. I'd use like a steamer to like moisturize my vocal cords. So I loved songwriting so much like growing up, and I still love songwriting now. But now that I've sort of like come to accept that my voice is this way, and I love the way I sort of like evoke like happiness in people when I sing. So I think now I'm sort of shifting more so to singing, but singing my own music is the best option.
Cool.
Can't
Yeah.
argue with that.
Yeah.
Far out. So, okay, looking a little bit ahead, and we asked this question to everyone, but
Yep.
I'm fairly confident you're at the earlier end of it, so I'm expecting a big answer. That's what I'm
Okay.
setting you up for. What sort of things have you got on your bucket list?
Oh,
Yeah.
I really want to travel. Like I want to
Well,
go
who
to
the
every.
fuck doesn't at the minute, to be honest?
I don't think that's allowed. That's not an answer right now.
I really want to go skydiving.
Oh,
one
cool.
day. I want to go skydiving.
Tandem or solo?
You've got to do it. Tandem's got to be first.
I
You've got to
think
do a tandem
I'll build
first
up
anyway.
to solo eventually, but probably tandem. Yeah.
I think to start with, you've got to be tandem anyway.
Oh, no, but you might just want to
Yeah.
always want to do it tandem.
No, fair enough.
Because the thing is, I don't really like. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't live life on
Heights?
the edge. Like I'm sort of just like, okay, I'm gonna
This
go.
is
in,
as
like,
edgy as it gets.
No, like I'm gonna like when I drive a car, like I don't really like drive in the fast lane. I'm like really safe about everything, and I'm like, do I want to do this because I could potentially like injure myself?
But you're
and do
quite
this.
happy to jump out of a perfectly good
I want
airplane.
to like I want to be more like daredevil-y, I want to be more fearless, and I want to be able to do things and like have no regrets.
Oh, no regrets. That could be a good song title.
Yeah.
Make sure to give you your royalties on that.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
there is one called No Regrets, is it? There must be. Think, Russell.
Off the top of my head. Yeah.
Skydiving.
Anything
What
else?
else? While you drink your water.
What else do I want to do?
When you say travel, is there anywhere specific that you wanted to go, or?
Where do I want to go? I'd really like to do South America. I was actually there for 6 days last year. I was meant to be there for a month, and I was meant to see Machu Picchu, but because of COVID, I had to go home.
Is he a singer or a band?
Go check him out on Spotify.
Okay, I will do. If I could spell it.
Yeah.
I can't even spell it.
Did you actually go down into the ruins or just up to the peak and look over them?
In Machu Picchu?
Yeah.
I didn't actually get to go.
Oh, you didn't go?
because
Oh,
of
right.
COVID.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So I was 2 days away from
Did he
seeing
have
Machu
COVID?
Picchu.
I hope he's recovered
He
all
did.
Who
right.
hasn't?
He put on his Instagram story that he was recovering.
Did he? Old Mitch Pichu. I'm going to go find one to start following Mitch.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good guy. A lot of people go to Mitch.
They do.
Did you be to Mitch?
I've never been.
You want to go to Mitch?
No, well, yes and no. It's one of those. It seems like a really good idea. It's one of those. Yeah, someone should be on your to do this, but it's so one of those commercialized hotspot. It's like doing everyone's. Oh, we should go to a base camp at Everest, and it's just like lines of people trudging slowly. Just
True.
like it's.
Oh, you want lions? Go to Ibiza. What else is on your? Apart from that, I'd like to do South America. Argentina has always been on mine.
A lot of people on the pod have said embrace South America as a travel spot.
What about for your career? Obviously,
Yeah.
singing and is
So
one
who would
thing.
you like to sing with?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's a good thing.
If I
Who'd like to do a
two
duet or a threesome
top-
with?
Other than me.
top 2 people, one would have to be Taylor Swift, 2 Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm a Selena Gomez fan myself.
Ooh.
No, is she
choice.
not good?
I like her music, but I'm more
I
of
couldn't
like
care
the
less about her
singer-
music. The chick is stunning.
Okay.
Did you ever see her in Waverley Place?
Oh yeah.
We're
Never seen that?
Female crush.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I saw her, and this is no word lie. When I had my kids, we then downloaded the dinosaur one. What's his name? The purple big dinosaur.
Barney.
Barney, because she started on that. She was
No.
originally, yeah. And I actually watched the episode where she was on it, and you could see there was 5 kids in this episode, and there was one that just you could tell that she had presence because she stood out
'Cause it was
just
Christmas.
from being
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez, and it was Selena Gomez, and you could just see that one is going to be the star.
Well, so
Wow.
didn't Christina Aguilera start on Disney or something?
Oh, so did Justin Timberlake. They were
Yeah,
together.
of course, yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yeah. I
There
think
we go.
Brittany was in the same group. I think all 3 of them might have been in the same
Oh,
group.
it might be actually, yeah.
There you go. Do Disney. It helps you.
Interesting.
Too old now.
So Taylor
Can't do
Swift,
it.
Ed Sheeran, no one else?
Those 2 are my top 2 for now.
Okay, folks.
And let's say you finish uni, and let's say the singing is good, but the psychology. Where would you? And you mentioned China. So do you want to live in China or?
I'd love to one day if I could speak fluent
Why?
Mandarin. I love like the culture. I love the language. I love the food.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can't argue with any of that.
Well, I could. I'm not gonna, but yeah, I'm sure they could.
Just one last question on your music. Obviously, you're very individual in terms of your writing. It's your music, your songs.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself? Would you like to be in a band, or do you just want to be like your own? Have your own sort of support band, or what have you, but just do your own thing?
I personally like.
I'm not offering, just so we can be clear about that. But
I thought you were actually just gonna ask me if you wanted to do it like right now.
Yeah.
I was preparing for it.
just to close, you know.
I'd like. The thing is, like, I kind of like writing my own music, and I like being my own like person.
Yeah.
I also do like having a support band, but when I don't necessarily like calling them my support band. I see us kind of as like one
As a
band
team.
anyways.
Yeah.
But it's just I have control over like what I'm singing
Yeah.
and what I'm doing.
Andrea and the Hoskinettes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
On that note,
I'm taking it. Just one thing before, because I honestly, do you practice signing your name?
Oh, I do.
I thought you did.
I have like
I used to as
I
well.
have like 4 different signatures.
I used to do the same thing. I used to practice to see if I get it right. Never
Oh,
got
yeah,
it right.
me too.
Couldn't spell it. That was a problem. Andrew, you are a superstar.
Thanks.
just
Thank
more
you
ways
so
than
much
one.
for having me.
no,
No.
thanks for being on. It's been great.
It
It's
has
terrific.
been brilliant. You are an absolute star, and we'll put all the links to your songs
Thank
Just
you.
gonna say,
in the
yeah, please
description
do.
and stuff. So yeah,
For the 4 people that are listening, they'll go and
Thank you, guys.
listen
Well,
to
it might
music
be
as
five
well.
Thanks for
now.
listening.
Yeah,
if the script are listening, how many's in the script?
3.
3. You've got 3 more listeners.
Yeah. So
Sam
if you could just
Smith on
tag them in the podcast, that would be lush.
Exactly.
Andrew, thank you, darling. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweet.
Thanks,
Bye.
Russell.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bye. Welcome to the outro.
Hello, mate.
Do you remember this one?
It's only been 2 minutes.
Andrea, thank you for setting it. I should thank you because you're the one that set this one up.
It's one of the few that I've actually...
One of the couple, I would say would be a better word. What
a good one. I mean, if I'm only going to...
Do you know what? I was thinking about this when we were talking to her a minute ago or two, that she's one of the smartest 19-year-olds. Not that I've met that many 19-year-olds because
just get that out.
Because my Tinder profile doesn't allow 19-year-olds. But she is one of the smartest 19-year-olds I think I've ever talked to.
She's awesome.
She's very...
she's cool.
And do you know what? And I almost sent a message to her father and her mother straight away afterwards to say, guys, and I think I should do it because she was just lovely. Absolutely smart, intelligent, funny, got us, respectful, everything across the board. I just thought it was great.
But I mean, okay, you could always argue that girls do mature a lot faster than guys, and we're only in our sort of late 30s, early 40s, and she's 19, so she is going to be way more mature.
That's a lot of maturing.
Yeah, but girls mature faster than guys.
So you're saying she's like a Stilton and we're still like a young cheddar?
It's not quite where I was going to go with it. No.
Oh, okay.
to be fair,
there's a joke about veins there, and unfortunately,
no.
We'll leave that one. Should have done that for a different one.
No, she's a very, very cool chick, but she's also very switched on. She knows, she's got a plan, she's got a direction, she knows what she wants, and she's very mature for her age, but not in a... I don't mean that in a kooky way, but she's just very cool.
No, she's very, very cool. I like her a lot.
You could put her in any social setting with any group, and she would be fine and adapt and work with it.
Yeah, and I hope I bump into her in more... I don't go out very much. We will not go to the same places, I'm sure. But if we did socialise, I would be very happy to sit and have a glass of wine or a non-alcoholic beer with her. No, she's super cool.
And we should definitely find out when she's performing next.
Yes.
And toot along and support.
And we'll put... I say well, it is me. I'll put all the links in the description, so you go and check out all her music, and you can check her out because she's amazing talent. And if we do a live show, which we are planning to, I hope she's still here.
Yeah.
Because we will definitely get her on. We'll have the same conversation. We'll just play this. Yeah. And then she can sing afterwards.
She can perform.
Excellent. Yeah. No, she's lovely. Make sure you check us out on the old social medias. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram-ish. And we're on the Twitter. But the best place to go and find out all about the podcast is...
I feel like we've done this really recently. But anyway, the best place would be...
I don't know what you mean, Russ.
PhuketPodcast.com.
There will take you to all the different places that you can find the podcast. And if you can give us a little 5-star rating on Apple Music, or it used to be called iTunes, but it's now called Apple Music, that'd be lovely.
Cool.
If you've got a dog and you need to train your dog, or if you need to look after your dog...
What to do with that?
No.
Oh, here's one. Did you know we've got a beach club? Aside from that, you can always check out caninepointacademy.com.
I like caninepointacademy.com. They do a great podcast called Barkcast.
It's also available, if I'm not mistaken, on PhuketPodcast.com.
It is.
You sort of link back there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like how that works.
And there's some big news coming for that podcast in a couple of weeks.
There's a lot of big news coming out.
Yeah. There's a lot of big things popping out. A bit like a Russian joke about don't buy Russian underpants because your Chernobyl fall out. On that point, thanks, Russ.
Bye.
Bye.